Hello, I am Bimba Anders Sidiaki Sise. I'm residing in Mozambique. I'm the Executive Director of EGAN, Evangelização Geral de Ajuda aos Necessitados, with headquarters in Shockway, Gaza province, Mozambique. Our organization is a national, non-governmental Christian development organization operating in Mozambique since 2006. The vision of our organization is a vision of community whereby it ensures the people of Mozambique living in a just society, in peace, dignity, united in diversity, and empowered to achieve their universal right to basic needs and quality of life. Our mission is to evangelize and contribute to the development of viable and sustainable household, to promote and enhance the capabilities of its people to effect positive change that would necessitate the development of their communities. EGAM has accomplished a lot of activities in Mozambique. Among others are food security and nutrition, which we did in order to improve the life of vulnerable women and people that are living in HIV, which was sponsored by Edmonton Fund, a UK organization, in 2007. Equally, it was upscaled in 2011, whereby we won a project which was sponsored by UNDP in food security and nutrition to improve the life of vulnerable children, women that are living with HIV and AIDS. And in 2014, the same food security and nutrition program was upscaled in Boani, in Maputo province in 2014, whereby we'll be able to train women that are taking care of children that are vulnerable and malnutrition. And in 2009, we'll be able to do a capacity building of smallholder farmers, whereby we're able to train them in agri-business and agricultural technique in Makaratani in 2009. And this project was funded by World Bank. And the result of the project was that it increased farmer techniques in agriculture and high yield in food production and productivities, and improved the economic viability of the choosing group activities, especially in vulnerable women and those living with HIV, increasing their revenue. The intervention improves technique in cultivation, in rehabilitation and conservation of soils, harvesting, food storage, and establishment of commercial linkages. The picture, the video you saw, or which was shown through this presentation, have justified some of the work which we did in terms of training women and young girls in agri-business and agricultural technique in the production of tomatoes and other agricultural products. The approach which we did was value chain approach, whereby the goods were produced from the farm and were sold to respective places like supermarket shops and other outlet entities. And in applying our methodology, we train up to about 80 farmers regarding the capacity building of small farmer organization in 2009 funded by World Bank. We trained about 80 farmers, which include 56 girls and young women, whereby they were trained in agricultural technique how to be able to produce vegetables in large quantity, and also in the area of climate change and pest controls. Now, based upon the experience which we have achieved, we are motivated from that aspect in order to advance economic empowerment of women and girls in the same sector. And we realize that the problem is so paramount. And that's why in this case, we're interested to engage in capacity building on agri-business for women to enhance food security in Mozambique. This project will be able to be implemented in Gaza and Maputo province. Looking onto these two areas which we have chosen that are viable in agriculture, because Gaza Shockwave is the main agricultural supplier of Mozambique in terms of vegetables, and also talking about Buani, it's an headway, a route that goes to South Africa, and Mozambique is one of the countries that supply one of the largest vegetables to South Africa in terms of tomato production and other vegetables. So, training women, empower women and girls in this area, which we saw somewhat viable, because when we look at Mozambique in this aspect, we found out that women, 80% of women are responsible for producing food, yet they remain the most vulnerable and worst affected by food security. Gender inequity with respect to land and property rights has been entrenched by existing law in many parts of the country, which confer land titles and inheritance rights upon male family only, with female being dependent. Women are also discriminated against predominantly patriarchal system in terms of education, as well as access to credit to boost agricultural production and productivity. The situation has been exacerbated by poor health status and impact of HIV and COVID on women. With smallholder farmers center approach, we look at the current tomato production value chain and try to understand how the following challenges could be addressed, namely, how can smallholder farmer achieve higher productivity? How can fresh produce be brought to market or buyers more efficiently? How can local processing take place to produce value-added food? How can gender inequality be addressed?